I tell you something, I could get used to this Monday morning feeling. 3 wins on the bounce, 4 straight wins at Old Trafford. A lot of positivity now coming through on the Webby and O'Neill community. Get involved with your opinions on today's discussion in the comments section and smash that like button. Over 98,000 of us now. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers in this Webby and O'Neill community. I do want to highlight the game over the weekend with Brighton, going into the next 2 fixtures as well with Forest and Spurs, and highlight a couple of comments as well. Some interesting thoughts on Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his role in these Manchester United wins. First of all, how are you feeling today?
Well, I've got an highlight. My terrible sleeping this weekend. Absolutely bad. This winning of games, this consistent level of performance is bringing my anxiety levels up there, which I never ever thought after the performances what we've had. 2-3 hours sleep Saturday, Sunday night, sleep on the settee Sunday afternoon. I'm telling you, even the dog licking me face couldn't wake me up. Absolutely shattered over the weekend. That's football. It takes you up there and it brings you down there. But I never ever thought that winning football matches at Manchester United would create me a sleeping problem.
Looking over the last 3 games, I think this Manchester United team now is looking more and more confident and isn't actually afraid to play football now.
No, you've got to look at it. There was no let-up in effort, and there hasn't been over the last few games by this starting 11. You know, there's no worries like it used to be when we start a game. Will we start slow? Will we get caught out? How many times did we used to see goals being conceded early? And then you worry that you've got like a good first half performance, and then they sort of like sleepwalk in at the start of a second half. Them worries have gone. Amorim and the players have got it spot on now. They are focused, and there's many, many reasons for that. But it's absolutely brilliant to see.
What is it when you've looked over the last few games you've looked at and you thought, yeah, definitely improvement in that area?
Well, the improvement has to be there's been no let-up in effort by the starting 11 in the last few games. Whoever's on the pitch, whether it's for 70 minutes or 90 minutes, there is no lack of effort and they just keep going. I've no worries like it used to be. You know, you'd say, oh, let's start off quickly. And then next thing you know, we're caught out early because we're too slow. Or the second half would start exactly too slow. You'd have a good first half and then it'd just go pear-shaped in the second half. These players, there's no let-up in effort, and that's the good thing. I'd also look, having a goalkeeper does give confidence in the team, but I also look at the way they're playing. They stick together at the back, they move forward together, and having new players in the side in the summer, I think it's took time for them to settle, and I think everyone's settled now.
Do you think it's more so the actual players we've brought in the summer and it's their impact in why we're actually seeing these performances, that they've actually settled in now, and it's more so them than the actual players who were here last season and this season getting more used to, let's say, the system and the tactics from Ruben Amorim?
I think the players we've brought in are quality. I'm not saying Le Mans is quality. I'm not going overboard on him yet. But I look at Kuna and I look at Mbeumo, Premier League experience, and they've just grown in stature game by game. And I think players are looking at them to really kick on. And they're all fighting, and they're all fighting for a place. And that's good to see. I think it's just took time this year for everyone to gel. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I do look at Cunha and Mbeumo, and you look at the players that we had last season in the number 10 positions. It's definitely an upgrade, and not just an upgrade in terms of quality and putting the ball in the back of the net, creating chances. I think it's all about the aggression and the work rate, wanting to fight for the team, get the foot in for tackles.
I think it's quality as well. I think if you look at the quality, what was there, you look at Garnacho, you look at Rashford, and you look at Anthony. Selfish players gave up. They weren't really interested in fighting for this club, which is an absolute disgrace, in my opinion. So I think it's the quality and the style. Them players, did they really gel? Did they really want to fight for a place? No, they didn't. That's how I see it. So for me, these players have come in and everyone there. I think the squad is smaller. I think there's a certain amount of players what are going to start the game, whereas I think anyone could have started because of the quality last year. But now the players are kicking on. They're all one. They are a team, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a team, and everyone wants to fight for a place.
Is there any worries at all when you've looked at the last 3 games in particular, though, when you're looking at certain areas and maybe thinking, need to improve there, or we could get caught out in future games?
Well, you're always going to get caught out no matter what. It's football. The Liverpool game, the subs, they all work perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So it was a proper fighting, but always opportunities for United to score. And then you look at Saturday against Brighton and you say, well, did the substitutes really work? The type of game to bring on all the substitutes 3-0 up. Yes, you look at it and say 3-0 up, start bringing substitutes on. It's easy. But Brighton are a good footballing side. They were never going to stop. So that has to work. So really, is the bench, is the quality good enough to bring on at certain times? Over time, we'll soon find out. Players need to be given time on the pitch, but the time what they spent on Saturday on the pitch, it's a little bit back to the wall. They weren't really fully engaged in the game. But that happens. That's life.
Yeah, I do think that Ruben Amorim sees it, especially with the likes of Casemiro, that he'll never really play a full game, 90 minutes, or it will be quite limited when he does so, and he does need changing because he's putting everything into it in them first 60, 65 minutes. I think Luke Shaw was took off over the weekend because he was suffering from a virus during the midweek. But again, we go back to the Liverpool game as well. When you can make them changes and still come out with the 3 points, I mean, all's happy, all's positive.
Well, if you look at Luke Shaw, I thought he had an excellent game.
Yeah.
I thought he had an excellent game. So if he had a virus, even better. With Casemiro, listen, the Premier League is a hard league and it is intense, and he hasn't got 90 minutes intense week after week in the Premier League. But what you have to say about Casemiro, and I've been a critic of him, not because he's a bad player, it's because the pace is too much for him. And he has been excellent the last few weeks, and you can't knock him. And at the moment, he's getting a starting place, and you can't knock it.
Looking at the bond that we've highlighted, and a lot of he's out there in the community as well between Mbumo and Ahmad, and it was for all to see against Brighton as well. But what do you think on that left-hand side? Do you think we'll start seeing any partnerships and more of a link-up with Cunha and the wing-back there? Because I know it's been chopping and changing quite a little bit with Dalot and Dorgu on there.
Not a chance. I don't see a partnership developing there. I think Dorgu's off the ball. I think there's something up. I have mentioned it last week a couple of times. Dalot, is he a long-term there? Certainly not. So there's no partnership there. But Cunha, he just goes round finding players. He goes and creates things himself.
Yeah.
So at the moment, there's no worry on that. They've got a sort of like defensive job, Dorgu and Dalot, because there's not many crosses coming from there. So the football is different on the left than it is on the right. But partnerships, no, Cunha's not got a partner, and I can't see him having a partner out of Dorgu and Dalot, to be honest with you.
I mean, this is nothing from any of the other attacking players that we've got in the team, but Cunha, he does seem a little bit different to everyone else, that he can create something out of nothing as well, and that's what you want, someone further up the pitch that can do that.
Yeah, you want a maverick, and he's turning into one. He's getting better and better. We've had lots of mavericks at United, but he's a really excellent player in a decent side. And I've always said the squad is a decent squad and it should be playing better, and it is playing better now. But for me, I think as time goes on, when we bring in other players to match up on that left or in other positions, players will develop more partnerships. And at the moment, there's only one. The one I'd like to see, De Ligt and Yoro, to be honest with you, because I think them two work perfectly together. I think De Ligt has been excellent. Always said he was a good player the moment he came in. As soon as I seen him, didn't know that much about him, to be perfectly honest, but I think he really gets in there. But Yoro's got the pace, so if anyone gets caught out, he tends to get him out of trouble by running back. But we're not playing that high line as much as often. De Ligt and Yoro, for me, I think they have to continue that partnership, because I think it works, and it works well.
Yeah, I think it's been huge bringing the goalkeeper in, Le Mans. He's won all his games that he's been involved within in a Manchester United shirt, and I like how he commands his box. It's not like we've had that with Andre Onana and Bayinde, and he's good with both feet as well in getting that ball up the pitch. So I think that's brought a confidence as well to the defensive side here at Manchester United. But a player that we got to see up close over the weekend was Baleba. Manchester United were interested in, all reports in the summertime, 100 million price tags. I know one thing's for sure, in judging on his recent performances in the Premier League and on Saturday, I don't think 100 million will be put on the table come the summertime.
Well, I'd never really seen much of Belieber playing for Brighton, and then next thing you know, is all headline news and that. So it's obviously seen clips and that. But as far as I'm concerned, he failed the test on Saturday. And I did say last week, I said, he's coming there and I will keep an eye on him. And I kept an eye on him and he proper failed the test. Belieber will have to get back to his best for United to target him as the #1 choice for that position in the summer. But I'll tell you what, he proper failed the test. Now, has his injury earlier on caused the problem? Has his head been turned? Possibly. Does affect players coming to Manchester United. He will look at that on Saturday and say, I didn't have a good game. But he will also stood there and look around and go, this is the place I want to be. I want to be at Manchester United. But he's got to turn in the form he did last year. 100 million. I think this year, the way he's performing at the moment, that figure is way, way too high. And United might end up getting him for a steal.
Yeah, there's also other names out there, isn't there, that are linked in them positions in midfield area that United are looking at targeting with Crystal Palace's Wharton and also Elliot Anderson, who I'm going to go on to now with the Nottingham Forest game coming up this weekend. How do you look at this game and the confidence that you've got going into it?
Well, this is what's giving me
sleepless nights.
Sleepless nights. You know, 3 wins on the trot here going into Forest, and then the Tottenham game. I'm thinking, aye, we're on it here. We're on it, and I'm excited and everything. And it's stopping me sleeping. But going to Forest, they will be dangerous. I know the results aren't well for them and that, but they're playing Manchester United. The manager's there. They got beat again at the weekend. But he will have them set up there to defend and also break against United. And I think United have got a tough test. What they have to do, United, just go there and blitz them. For everyone to turn around and say United are back, they've got to go there and be ruthless and really tear into him.
Yeah, they're third from bottom, aren't they, currently in the Premier League? So they're fighting for their lives at the moment. New manager just come in, Sean Dyche. He's going to try getting him to play his way. But let's hope it's a little bit too early for him to get that down him in the instructions. And United do go there and get another 3 points.
Yeah, but I expect a lot more people to lose sleep the night before because they'll sort of worry and go, is this going to continue, this winning streak? Is it a false dawn? They're going to fight for their lives and all that. This is the type of game you trip up. So I expect more sleepless nights from many more people, but it will be a tough game. But I think come early in the second half, I think United will just run rampant with them against them.
Yeah, you was mentioning over the weekend, we're always giddy when Man United get a win.
Always.
We make no apologies for that. We love this football club. But when you're saying that we're back, in terms of what is it you're seeing where you think, yeah, Manchester United are back? Is it because of the commitment from the players and, you know, more of a cohesion in the team, more than the actual place in the table?
No, I look at the squad, I look at the players, I look at what's going on out there, I look at the attitude, I look how not just the performing, how they're talking, everything coming out of there, the discontent, what the media, especially the media, have brought up there in the dressing room, if there was any, because it doesn't seem, it seems to have gone. Any discontent, if there was there, it's been quelled, and you can see that, and it's the confidence. That goalkeeper, Le Mans, brings you confidence. It's simple, but the players themselves, the way they're acting, there's a swagger. Not a massive swagger, but a swagger as if to say, yeah, we know what we're doing. We're defying all the critics and all that. But what's good is when you see him at the end of the game, how much it means to him. So that tells you how much together they are. So we've got to be aware of any slip-ups, and then the media or anyone else out there coming to attack United. We can all slip up, and if it happens, it happens. But this squad, these players, this manager, and everyone around are all one. They know what they've got to do, and they're all in on it.
That's what I agree with when we're talking about we're back. I'm seeing more of a determination and a focus from the players, and that is all you can ask for, the bare minimum. And we've not seen that in large parts over the last few months or even couple of years here, at least, at Manchester United. So if we keep seeing that on a consistent basis. I mean, we can't ask for much more other than the 3 points every game. But as we know, it's the Premier League. Every game's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, when I say we're back, I think what it is, and I've seen a few comments over the weekend, and they were turning around, and it's like they're proud to wear the shirt. Now, when have we said that about a squad at Manchester United for the last 10 years? You can't turn around and say they're all proud to wear the shirt. There was always people angling for different things. But these players wearing this shirt, right, it's as like they're fighting, they're really fighting, and they want it. And it's great to see. And it is a big worry as well, because we don't want to see the drop-off, and that's the anxiety. But if we get a drop-off, that's natural. I'm not criticising these players.
Well, let's hope the drop-off is what we're seeing at the start of the season. And Manchester United are clicking into gear now, where we will actually start seeing a more consistent run of results. But also, in the next couple of games, you get the 3 points out of both of them games. That's when serious momentum then starts building, surely.
Yeah, there's serious momentum building now. We go and win them next 2 games, that's fantastic. But there will be a drop-off. There always is. And some of these players, they have got injury problems long-term and that. Now, luckily, Luke Shaw has been playing really well the last few games, and he's got a terrible injury record. And I think Mason Mount's being kept out. And then you've got, like, say, Xerxes, for instance, as a substitute coming on, as his injury cleared up, he doesn't look fit yet. Will that re-emerge? There's other players out there. Aidan Heaven came on the other day.
Yeah, look,
right? He came on the other day. He's had injury problems, and we're going to get him. So there will be a point where there will be a drop-off, but you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it, because this squad and the way they are, all as one, will fight back and get over it.
Yeah, it'd be tough games, like I say. Nottingham Forest third from bottom, then polar opposites in the next game between them and Tottenham. I think they're currently in 3rd place, with United currently in 6th, and it's all a little bit tight up there at the moment. But I think you'll get a bigger picture in how the season will pan out towards the second half of the season come Christmas, don't you think?
Well, you look at United at the moment, joint 5th. I don't think anyone, joint 5th on points. I don't think anyone thought that was possible a month ago. And here we are. I mean, over the weekend, some good results there to help United. Chelsea getting beat, people didn't expect that, especially when they were leading 1-0. And then you look at the City result. I thought it was a poor Manchester City. I've seen the highlights. They getting beat at Villa. That helped us. So 9 points from 3 games. Fantastic. 6 points over the next 2 games. I might get a sleep, because it's an international break then. So I can't wait for that international break. Get another 6 points.
Yeah, like I mentioned at the start of the video, there was a couple of comments over the weekend, to be honest. What really stood out to me in mentioning Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the possible role in a positive way that he's had when he come out doing that interview in early October, that might have actually stabilised the club and also stabilised, Ruben Amorim's position here as manager.
Well, I think what Ratcliffe did, he come out and he backed Ruben Amorim, saying he's got 3 years at Manchester United. And as we know as fans, sometimes it's unwise. Well, he's a part owner to give the backing publicly for the manager. But as we know, it's all about results. Will he get it? Will he get the 3 years? Well, let's hope so. If he keeps getting the results, there's no reason why he shouldn't be here. But it was good. It's worked out well, that backing. I thought to myself, that's the knife. That's the knife in the back. But it's proved a masterstroke. A lot of fans think that.
Yeah, for me personally, I think, like you all said out there at the time, when you see owners come out publicly and backing the manager, it usually means a couple of weeks later they do end up getting the chop. But I think players themselves, they smell that instability inside a club when they know, or they get that feeling that the manager isn't safe. And I've got to be honest with you out there, I've been critical of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and quite rightly so. And I make no apologies for that. But I actually do think his comments publicly, basically saying that the coach is safe, he wants him to have 3 years and demonstrate he's a great coach over them 3 years, has actually brought the players into this project knowing that he's safe and there's going to be some stability there now with a coach.
Well, like we know, the public backing it normally spells trouble, but it seems to have brought the club, well, I say the squad and everything at Carrington together, as if to say, right, we're all on the same page here. You hear players, your reporters are out there, media saying players do like Ruben Amorim. They're not against him and all that. And obviously Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming out, giving the public backing, has like gelled everyone together. So it's quelled the unrest. They've got down to the business, and everyone seems to be working for each other. And that in itself is a great word to use. They're working for each other. And I've not been able to say that for a long time.
Yeah, I must say as well, I've seen a couple of comments, not fully on board with Benjamin Sesko, but I still like what I've seen against Brighton. He wasn't really in the game at all for the first 15 minutes. So he had that chance late on in the first half, could have put the game to bed at 3-0 going into the second half. But I liked the link-up play with him and Mbumo, especially for Mbumo's first goal. I do like what I see from him, especially his runs off the ball, creates space for other players.
Well, we've always said about the strikers for the last few years, they don't get the service and all that, right? But the difference with the service what Hoyland got, everyone was critical of him losing the ball, not being able to hold it up and everything else like that. Doesn't head the ball, doesn't win his duels and that. Yes, he's not in the game fully for 90 minutes, but the system doesn't allow that at the moment, and they're building up on it. So he will get better and better. But I can't criticise what he does. It's just that he's not in the game as often as we're all used to as a striker. And like we started earlier on talking about partnerships in games. Yes, Mbumo and Ahmad, they've got their partnership. Kuna hasn't got a partnership yet, but he's working really hard. Well, Sesko's working hard, and he will get more and more of the ball as time goes on. So for me, I've no worries about him whatsoever.
Yeah, just to go back on to Jim Ratcliffe there, just thought I'd bring up them comments over the weekend just to get a wider view as well in the Webby and O'Neill community to see if you also think that it's had a positive impact in terms of results here at Manchester United since his comments on that backing for Ruben Amorim. But I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved. I thought I'd just touch on some points from over the weekend, going into the Forest and then the Tottenham game before that international break. And like I say, get your thoughts and opinions in on Sir Jim Ratcliffe as well. Will he give him some more tools there in January to possibly look at one or two more players? You know, who knows? But there's a lot of positivity right now. So let's ride that wave as Manchester United supporters and let's keep it going. We'll be back tomorrow with another video, so get involved, get that notification on, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, Reds, and smash that like button. Thank you.
Thank you.